I have the pleasure and privilege of returning to one of my favourite cities. This is a place on a very human scale, rich in heritage and colour, and with all the indulgence you could possibly want for a weekend away. It's accessible and different, and whether you're after beer, bikes or battlements, you can find it here. So please join me for 48 hours in Ghent. This beautiful and accessible Flemish city combines the best of the past with a vibrant present, making it the ideal destination for the near future. Ghent is so easy to reach. The main station, St Peter's, is about half an hour from Brussels Midi, which is where Eurostar trains arrive from London. And if you fly into Brussels Airport, there are direct trains taking about an hour. Or if you prefer to drive, it's just 90 minutes of motorway from Calais. If none of the 9 million or so bikes parked outside the station happens to be yours, don't panic. Just find tram number 1 and you'll be in the city centre in about 10 minutes. And here it is. The flat fare is €2, or buy the City Card, a bargain at €30 for 48 hours, giving free transport plus admission to Ghent's classiest attractions and even a day's bike rental. The tram very conveniently drops you off here at St Vierleplein, which is the location for the old fish market. And why am I going there? Because now it's the new tourist office. Well, this is one of the most amazing tourist offices I know, not just because of the beautiful and intelligent staff, hello, but also because of the view you get from here. Come and have a look at this. Imagine this is the Belgian coast, the French border, the capital, Brussels, and Antwerp. Ghent is right in the middle, and it's a city that is cut through with beautiful waterways, including this one, which is very handy if you're going to be staying in a certain hotel. The rivers and canals have been the lifeblood of Ghent for centuries and divide the city into a delicious collection of appetising quarters. You could arrive at the Ghent River Hotel by road, but it's a lot more fun to float. This place is quite intriguing. It comprises a 500-year-old townhouse and a former cotton mill and sugar refinery, all transformed into a 4-star hotel. Arriving by boat puts you in just the right frame of mind. Thank you, Danny.
Enjoy your stay. Thank you.
For staying somewhere with a real sense of history. As well as some industrial heritage, in a room which costs as little as €90 a night if you book ahead online and direct. That also includes a view of the river. And you can take your breakfast on the terrace to be inspired by these lovely views for the day ahead. If you're visiting with your family, then go for room 131. You can enjoy the experience of sleeping in a room half a millennium old, while there's handily a junior alcove where you can put those annoying children. Just give them a bottle of Belgian beer, that'll keep them quiet. No, don't. For something even more historic and, dare I say it, economic, I give you this 800-year-old building right next to St Michael's Bridge in the very heart of Ghent. Now, the interesting thing is that this is the hostel Upperlink, and besides charging very modest €21 a night for a bed in a dorm, it also has its own bar with the cheapest beer in Ghent. This is your room, and this is your view. Not quite the best in town though. I've checked so you don't have to, and I can confirm that the best view in Ghent, if not in Belgium, is here from the 14th century belfry. All you've got to do to enjoy it is to climb 366 steps. That's one for every day of a leap year. Up you come. Oh, there you are. Isn't it glorious? rewards shoppers who look beyond the global brands for independent retailers, as you find along Valpoortstraat. The chocolatier Nicolas Vanez has a store and workshop where he draws on many influences to create dense designer chocolates in all colours and flavours.
From the beginning I wanted to make exactly what I wanted, so I put the level really high. I said there are already a lot of chocolate makers here in Belgium especially, so I had to find a way to make it special out of the bunch. I started to study about how I can make chocolate. I studied about the flavors I could use, and then I discovered that actually my fantasy was the limit, so I went for it.
Close by in Koerstraat, beans means coffee. 1913, Ghent hosts the World's Fair. Among the delegations who show up are the people from Sao Paulo in Brazil, bringing lots of coffee and a roaster and lots of other stuff. After the event, an enterprising local businesswoman buys the whole lot from them and sets up her own coffee shop called Sao Paulo. Today, it has beans from Ethiopia, the Galapagos, Papua New Guinea. And if you wish, you can just buy a cappuccino and enjoy the aroma of this fabulous shop. The Groot Vleehuis, the Great Butcher's Hall, which is the city's former meat market, has now been adapted as a showcase for the regional specialities of East Flanders, as the manager, Miriam Klosser, told me.
We have many products here in our province. We have beer, we have chocolate, we have pastry, cookies, jelly.
And here I can even taste some. These are all honeys?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Which one would you recommend?
The dark one, it's made from wild flowers.
Wild flowers. Oh, sweet and flowery. No, not me. The very nice wildflower honey. If you prefer something spicier, cross the square to the Tierentine Mustard Emporium, which has been going for 2 centuries. If, like me, you've never seen mustard in action, then come to Tierentine and say, "Hello, may I please have a 200 millilitre jar?"
Sure.
Thank you. Ooh. Look. Ha. Oh. And for that lovely concoction of mustard seed, vinegar, salt and water, you pay just €3.15, I believe. Thank you. How kind. Look at this. That's a nice present, isn't it? 1790. That was when Tierentine was founded. They moved into this shop really quite recently, 1860. Other toppings are available as you discover a minute's walk away at one of the great institutions of Ghent. This man is Philippe. This is Fritur Philippe, which is his stall, selling chips, frit plus stovre, which is a kind of meat stew with lots of brown beer. And of course the all-important topping, which is mayonnaise. Finest chips in Belgium. Late afternoon is the perfect time to start a walk through the city. This stroll starts and ends at St Michael's Bridge in the very heart of Ghent and takes you through layers of history and into the dwindling light. Along the way, I met up with Annelies Rutten, a local journalist who believes Ghent has changed dramatically for the better over the past few years.
We have less traffic in the city. It's a very clear political choice. So there's a lot of bikes. There's another atmosphere in the city, and we start to rediscover our own city. You can also feel that people are very proud of the city. Ghent is like a quality label, so everybody is very happy to live here. You can feel that.
It's not just humans who are well looked after in Ghent. Here's an interesting animal amenity. You've got water for dogs, for horses and for birds. Dominating the city skyline is Ghent's very own fortress. The mighty battlements of the Castle of the Counts were built in the 12th century to defend the ruling dynasty of Flanders. But when the Industrial Revolution started propelling Ghent to becoming one of the richest cities in Europe, the castle was turned into a cotton mill. It's now been painstakingly restored, with the emphasis on pain. And inside the castle you find the quaintly named Museum of Judicial Objects. Mind you, I'm better off than this poor chap. He was done for shoplifting. It was a chain store. Still, look what happened to the last presenter. And that's the end of this section of the hike. Cut. Into the twilight zone. Early evening is actually a great time to take a walk through Ghent because for the past 5 decades the city has lit up its historic treasures. Sparkling with beauty and intrigue. No, not me. Ghent, when the lights come on and you can appreciate the facades of this magical city and perhaps conclude you deserve a drink. In 2012, the creative cocktail came to Ghent in the shape of jiggers, named after one of these, an important element of the cocktail maker's skill. I think the idea is, if you can't find it at Jiggers, you probably don't want to drink it. I'll have what she's having, please. Certainly never tasted anything like this before. It's very appley, it's very spicy. It reminds me of, I don't know, maybe a Spanish chilled soup, gazpacho. Would you agree? Meanwhile, if you want something a bit more Belgian, here at the De la Ghent, they've got 350 different kinds of beer. But I want to have what he's having. For that, I'm going to need 10 euros and I also have to remove a shoe because they don't trust drinkers not to remove, they are lovely glasses and they want one of these as a deposit. Ugh. Oh, do you want a race? 1.3 litres of delicious Flemish blonde beer. And after approximately 2 pints of really quite strong beer, you might be feeling a tiny bit legless, but you're also definitely shoeless. So you have to ask Stephanie very nicely for your shoe back, which is going to, I hope, to descend in just a moment. It's like Cinderella, only with beer. Oh, and look, don't worry if you do forget your shoe. My recommended restaurant is just a short hop away. What can I tell you about the House of Eliot? Well, quite a lot really. The name is based on a 1990s BBC series about a 1920s pair of dressmaking sisters. And just to give you an idea of the cut of this place, well, the bread comes with your own little pot of herbs and you cut up the herbs like this and with the homemade butter you spread it on your roll. Now, the speciality here is lobster. It's very impressive. It's also very expensive, 65 euros. So I've ordered the fish of the day, which I'm looking forward to just after I've done a little gardening. The owner is Freddy Beauvais.
When you start a restaurant, a place, you want to do something for your customers, but I am a guy with a lot of experience and do things and make some fun with people, make some creations, and one of this is my restaurant. So this is why, that's me. And I think that I make you happy also.
I'm taking the unusual step of rotating my plate so you can see this isn't a meal so much as a work of art. Good morning. I reckon the food in Ghent is so good that I'm putting on about £1 for every hour I spend here. However, there's a very good reason for feasting on brunch here at Pan Perdu, and that's because I'm planning an energetic morning. First though, I'm going to enjoy my breakfast and see what's happening in the local paper. Crikey, apparently they're filming 48 hours in Ghent right now. This morning, it's Take a Ride. From cobbled streets to graffiti-filled lanes, hiring a bike is a great way to see the city and to celebrate the fine cycling tradition of Flanders. Bikes can go where cars aren't allowed, and there's a network of dedicated cycle lanes. The reason I've come on this two-wheel pilgrimage is that I wanted to visit a shrine to cycling, this unprepossessing building. It was here on the 28th of April 1980 that Sir Bradley Wiggins was born, the son of an Australian professional cyclist, Gary Wiggins. I've learned a great deal from Wiggo, such as always be in the right gear. What do you mean? The most famous Belgian? Any cycling fan will assure you it's the great Eddy Merckx, who won the Tour de France 5 times and is celebrated here with the Flanders Cycling Centre, where even a beginner can try out cycling round a proper velodrome. Welcome to my pleasure dome. My friend here is just preparing my bicycle and running through the rules. So you have to keep pedalling. There are no brakes, apparently for safety reasons. You just keep going all the way round. Got to do a couple of slow ones around here before you go up onto the cambered part. And you cannot go any faster than 100 kilometers an hour. That's about 60 miles an hour. I'll try not to. This is my first time at a velodrome. I hope it's not my last. It's really, really challenging, this. You cannot stop. Just got to keep pedaling, keep pedaling. This amazing experience is all yours for not very much money. €16.50, including the bike for 2 hours. On the other side of town, there's a second velodrome, but I'm not allowed inside. Nothing to do with my dodgy choice of clothing. The Kuipke, or Little Tub Arena, is for professional cyclists who compete in the 6 Days in Ghent competition each November. But it's just one of the attractions in Citadel Park. Even if you can't tell your handlebars from your bottom bracket, Citadel Park has much to offer, including the beautiful University Botanic Gardens with 10,000 species of plants and some quite noisy ducks. Be warned though, the gates close on a Sunday at exactly noon. Perfect timing for the start of a cultural afternoon. Besides nature, Citadel Park is also full of art, notably here at MSK, the Museum of Fine Arts. The repertoire here ranges from the 15th century, for example, this depiction of a peasant's wedding by the artist Bruegel, if you're British, or Bruegel, if you're Flemish, right up to the 20th century, which fills this room. There's some really interesting paintings here, including this one, which is by the British painter C.R.W. Nevinson, depicting a First World War scene in Flanders in 1916. The museum catalogue includes one picture which isn't here right now because it's out on loan, but it will be back soon. This is by Magritte, apparently Eddie Merckx's favourite artist. Picking up the cultural baton around about 1950, smack opposite is Smack, the Contemporary Art Museum. It includes work by Francis Bacon and Andy Warhol. But for the city's most magnificent work of art, you have to go to church. Saint Bavo was a 6th century landowner who by all accounts was quite mean and nasty until he saw the light and decided to atone for his excesses by caring for the poor. 1,000 years ago a place of worship was established here, and today the cathedral in his honour is a fantastic location. The interior is beautiful, but what gets people flocking here is the adoration of the mystic Lamb. The work was created by Van Eyck in the early 15th century. The masterpiece was looted by the Nazis and featured in George Clooney's film The Monuments Men. Canon Ludo Collin told me that despite all the travelling the altarpiece has done over the centuries, it's now firmly back in Ghent.
It's here in this chapel since about 30 years for security, and now it's in restoration since 2 years. A restoration will take 4 years, and then everything will be restored and will be magnificent.
For my final Ghent experience, I'm going from the sacred to, well, the quite sacred, because brewing and religion have quite a close affinity in Belgium. Hello again, Danny. Boats like these, by the way, offer tours of the waterways and a chance to see the city from a different angle, an essential element of the Ghent experience. Now, there used to be 300 breweries in the city of Ghent. Now, there's only one left in the centre. Keeping the faith alive is Gut. Belgium and beer go together like the Thompson twins from the Tintin stories. Even by the standards of some of the breweries I've seen, this one is fairly micro. But while nature and yeast are working wonders with malt and hops, an important part of a visit here is to understand what you're drinking while you can. Bram is the man who's going to tell me how to drink beer. So Bram, what have you got here?
Well, these are 3 tasting glasses I've got for you, 15 centiliters each. We always suggest that you start from the left whilst drinking, because these are the least strong. Yeah, the one to the left is the white. That's made with wheat instead of barley. It's approximately 5% alcohol. Now this one's a thirst quencher. The next one in the middle is the seasonal beer. It's rather sweet, and we only have that one during the colder period of the year. Yeah. And the last one, the Inferno, that's a bit of the odd one out, seeing as that one does have hops in.
Did he say start on the left or the right? I think I'm going to work through these and then take the rest of the day off. Well, with all Ghent's elegance, heritage and energy, frankly, I'm exhausted after spending 48 hours here. But I've seen some amazing things, met some lovely people and eaten and drunk very well indeed. I'm looking forward to my next trip here, and I hope I'll see you too.
Okay.
And you can take your breakfast on the lovely terrace to be inspired by the lovely views for your day ahead. Thank you. And to be heckled by the prat on the next table.